Jimin cried over Jungkook's decision. A radical decision by one of BTS's most iconic members made Jimin cry in silence, while ARMY around the world was shaken by news they never imagined would happen. A shocking decision by Jungkook, BTS's golden magnate, changed the entire narrative direction of the phenomenal group's journey. No one, not even Park Jimin, his closest friend in the group, saw this decision coming. In the silent tension that enveloped Division 5, where they're serving their military duty, the news spread gradually. But the impact? As swift and deep as a storm. Jungkook made a decision that brought Jimin to tears, and ARMY around the world began to question, is this truly the beginning of the end of BTS as we know it? In intense conversations behind the strict walls of the South Korean military, it was revealed that Jungkook had discussed his future privately with Bang Si-hyuk, founder of HYB Corporation. Unexpectedly, the decision made was not merely about solo career development. It was bigger, more radical. According to internal sources, Jungkook is considering taking a long-term break from group activities, or even possibly pursuing an international career path completely detached from BTS's structure. Why is this so shocking? Because Jungkook and Jimin are known as the two closest members in the group. They are not just colleagues, but friends who have endured hard times together since their trainee days. When Jimin found out about the decision, he couldn't say a word. His tears just fell, revealed a HYB staff member who requested anonymity. He felt betrayed, not because Jungkook wanted to grow, but because he wasn't told beforehand. In a recent interview, Bang Si-hyuk implied that the future direction of BTS might shift. We always give full freedom to the members. If Jungkook chooses a different path, we won't stand in the way, he said. This comment further fueled speculation that Jungkook's departure, temporary or permanent, is not just talk, but a scenario in the making. Jimin's reaction became a major focus. He is known as the warmest, yet also the most emotional member. When news of Jungkook's decision reached him through staff, not directly from Jungkook, Jimin reportedly locked himself in his room for nearly 24 hours. Messages from fellow members, including V, went unanswered. According to internal reports, soft sobbing was even heard from his room. A HYB staff member said, "We all know Jimin deeply values friendship. This isn't about Jungkook's career, it's about trust." Meanwhile, ARMY also reacted. Social media was filled with hashtags like #ProtectJimin, #WeTrustJungkook, and #BTSForever. Some fans understood that each member has the right to their own choices, but many still hoped this decision would mean the end of their togetherness. An online petition even began circulating, asking HYB to release an official clarification. Jungkook himself has not issued a direct statement. However, fans began reanalyzing his digital trail before his military enlistment. From his interview on the program Suchwada to his global collaborations such as with Calvin Klein, many interpreted that Jungkook had long been preparing a new stage for himself. This includes a possible debut on the Hollywood stage, or even building his own label as a producer. But what's equally interesting is the silent response from the other members. RM is said to be the one trying to mediate. He invited Jungkook to talk again so that this decision wouldn't sacrifice BTS's collective spirit. Suga reportedly understands the decision as a form of self-actualization. Jin, who completed his military service earlier, remained the most neutral. Everyone changes after the military. Sometimes we discover a new version of ourselves, he said in a closed meeting with the crew. But for Jimin, this change came like lightning in broad daylight. He's not angry, said a source close to him. He's just deeply hurt. A few days after the news broke, Jimin slowly became active again in their group chat, though not fully open. Some staff reported that he finally received a direct phone call from Jungkook, who called from his training post. The conversation lasted almost an hour, and although the contents remain confidential, one thing is certain. Jimin cried the entire time. So, what does all this mean for BTS's future? Korean music critic Park Hye gave a sharp analysis. If Jungkook leaves, even temporarily, the group's dynamics will change significantly. He's BTS's global magnet. But also, this decision might be necessary. All members have extraordinary individual potential. Maybe this isn't a breakup. This is transformation. HYB itself refused to comment further. They only said that everything would be announced after the members complete their military service. But behind the scenes, preparations seem to have begun. From setting individual release schedules, potential global debuts, to restructuring the group's image, BTS seems to be entering a new phase, and Jungkook's decision is its starting point. ARMY, meanwhile, is divided across a wide emotional spectrum, disappointed, sad, yet also hopeful. They know their love for BTS isn't just about the formation, but about the soul of each member. Jimin, though hurt, remains an important part of that spirit. He represents the feelings of many fans who feel a sense of loss, yet still want to give support. In conclusion, Jungkook's decision is a major alarm in the K-pop world. It forces all parties, from fans, the industry, to BTS members themselves, to face the reality that change is inevitable, that every individual has the right to grow according to their vision, and that even in unity, there's room for personal choice. But one thing remains unchanged. BTS is still a legend. And every new chapter in their story, no matter how painful, is part of a greater legacy. Now, all eyes are on Division 5, on two young men who grew up together and are now tested by a decision that emotionally separates them. When Jungkook and Jimin return from the military, the world isn't just waiting for new music. The world is waiting for answers. What do you think about Jungkook's decision? Is this a brave step or the beginning of a painful separation? As Jimin's tears become a symbol of grief in the greater BTS family, the public begins to reconsider. Is this just a constructed drama to attract media attention, or a true emotional struggle tearing apart the bond between two real friends? As this news goes viral across digital platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and ARMY's online communities, deeper questions arise. How far can we trust the narratives built by scattered pieces of information spreading so quickly without official confirmation? Is it possible that what we're witnessing is an emotional fabrication designed to pump expectations, curiosity, and even fan anxiety for one thing: global attention? If Jungkook's decision is truly this radical, why hasn't there been a single official statement explaining it transparently? Why are all the statements still ambiguous, as if letting ARMY guess without a clear direction? And more importantly, did Jimin really feel betrayed? Or is this just a narrative triggered by a wild collective interpretation in the digital space? The fact that this article is based on reports circulating on social media, community forums, and subjectively interpreted interview clips demands that we place ourselves in a skeptical and reflective position. In the era of information overload, it's easy for opinion to turn into fact simply because it's repeated with confidence. So, we want to ask you, the readers, do you truly believe this is reality? Or is it just a narrative construction born from collective imagination, spiced up by algorithms and mass emotional consumption? It's important to remember that until now, there's been no visual documentation or official statement from either Jimin or Jungkook confirming that this conflict or major decision truly happened as reported. All we have are internal source quotes, unnamed staff confessions, and interpretations of facial expressions or behavior changes on social media. If that's the case, shouldn't we hold back before accepting it as absolute truth? Let's reflect more deeply. Why do such pieces of information go viral so quickly? Why are we so quickly moved emotionally when we read that Jimin cried or Jungkook made a shocking decision? Is it because of our love for BTS, or because we, knowingly or not, have become part of an industry of mass emotional consumption? It cannot be denied that BTS is a cultural icon whose existence goes far beyond the boundaries of music. They are symbols, narratives, and sometimes, without us realizing, part of a complex entertainment industry strategy. When stories like this explode in the media, we need to ask, who benefits? Do fans really get the truth? Or are they simply being swayed by a wave of sensation continually produced to maintain relevance and commercial existence? Some fans may refuse to question this narrative, arguing that their relationship with BTS is emotional, not rational. But precisely for that reason, it's important to cultivate a critical attitude in responding to every development. We can love BTS while also being cautious about how that love is used out of course. We're not saying all this is a lie. There may indeed be tension. Jimin may indeed feel heard. But our task as information consumers is to demand clarity.